Welcome to episode 128 of the Ben Briggs podcast. I am Ben Briggs. It's Saturday, people. Saturday, the 25th of July, 2020. And we are here. I'm still suffering a little bit, people. On the last episode, I don't know. I went into great detail with regards to my man flu, stroke cold, stroke coronavirus, whatever it was. I'm still suffering a little bit, people. I'm still a bit schnotoir, as they say in France. I have no idea whether they say that in France or not. Being attacked by my collar at the minute as well, because I thought I'd be cool and try and put my collar up a la Cantona. It's a bit of a French kicking off theme to the episode today. So I'm still a bit snotty, still a bit nasally. I apologise for all of that on your listening ears. But you know, sometimes you just gotta snot everywhere, people. It is not coronavirus, not that I've been tested, but I assume it's not by the fact I'm still fucking alive at the moment and not attached to some sort of machine that is breathing for me. Things still going down, numbers still going down, aren't they, on the old coronavirus thing, but we're all still fucking locked away, paranoid as shit. If anybody sneezes in front of us or shows even a slightly sort of like yellowy hue about them. But anyway, so for that matter, I haven't really done much. I believe that everything is starting again, isn't it? Like all the stand-up and shit like that is beginning to start again. Social distancing gigs they're doing now, where patrons or comedy lovers or just pissed up people on a hen do who got dragged there, who knows, have to stay about 2 meters apart. So fuck knows what that's going to be like, but I've got gigs like that coming up and booked in over the next month or so. So we'll be back to gigging again after a little fucking 6-month break. Are you still funny, Benny boy? I don't know. A lot of people are possibly listening to this podcast at the minute, debating that. I can feel you judging me, people out there. I can feel you judging me right now. Make this funny, Ben. Okay, there's a lot of pressure. It's been a bit of a, you know, I haven't really done a lot. I haven't really felt like doing a lot. I've been wallowing in self-pity. Possibly, making the most of my feeling rough by people I'm talking to, my mum and others, making them feel sorry for me and get me stuff. That's basically what you do when you got a cold, innit? You know, when you live on your own, it's a little bit weird having a cold because you've got nobody to sort of like dote on you or run after you or cater for your every need. So, you know, sometimes you've got to man up a little bit, ain't you? Take them fucking paracetamol. Shake it off a little bit. Shake it off, baby. So, anyway, that's what I have been doing. Festering a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm essentially, I've been sleeping on my sofa. Certain people who know me will know that this is not a massive step away from what I usually do. But, you know, I hardly ever use my bed, to be honest. I sleep on my sofa an awful lot because I catch, like, you know, I'm not one of these people who's like, hey, man, my brain's so active, man. I don't sleep that much, but I'll probably catch about 4 hours some nights and that sort of thing. With still working the fucking day job, you see. There you go, people. So it's up bright and early, 2 o'clock in the morning, start till 10:30, come home, get about 4 hours, do a few little bits, mince around my flat, you know, listen to a bit of music of some feeling like I want to feel cultural, and sit down and watch films, do a bit of writing, you know, plan the epic that is this podcast, and then put it out to the world. You guys listen to it now. That's it. Full circle. That is how it goes. Let's have a little bit of tea. Hang on. So anyway, stuff that's been in the news this week. We're starting on the news thing straight away. Are you really, Ben? Yeah, because I've done a fuck all. That's why. It's difficult, isn't it? When you don't, you know, here I am, usually gallivanting around the country, telling people the truth, man. philosophically trying to tell people the truth. I don't know. Is that what I'd call my comedy? I don't know. Yeah, I can call it whatever I fucking want until people go, actually, Ben, that's not actually what you're doing. You're just walking around the country basically offending people and clocking up the old mileage for it. Thank you very much. Yeah, so basically, yeah, you want to be like out and about and telling people, hey guys, you'll never guess what I did this week, but it's fuck all. I'm going to be totally honest, as probably you are as well. You know what I mean? A lot of you out there are probably still working from home. You know, your day out is when it's sunny outside and you can go out in the garden for a bit, innit? You know, you can't really do that much. And also, Northampton, there's rumours abounding around Northamptonshire, where I live, Northamptonshire, the rose of the shires, where I live, that there's going to be another lockdown because some fucking factory or something has got loads of fucking coronavirus cases. So who knows what's going to go on there? Although this was, you know, because what they're doing now is they're selecting parts of the country and going, your coronavirus is too bad there, so we'll lock you down. They're sort of like pinpointing the lockdowns. I think it's like up in the northwest at the minute, Liverpool, Manchester area, I think, and then Leicester as well, which is like directly north of where I am. And then Luton, I think, which is directly south of where I am. So here in the Rose of the Shires, we are like in that central sort of like little location between those two epicenters of coronavirus. I don't think people are dying. I think they're just spreading it now. I don't know. It's like sort of, I don't know. People have learned to live with it, haven't they? Yeah, so the snot, by the way, that I am emitting and trying to keep up my snout at the moment, my ooter, my fucking ooter, son. My ooter is not coronavirus related, just to let you all know that. I imagine it's not. Anyway, I don't know. I haven't been fucking tested, as I say. Anyway, stuff that's been going on in the news. Here we go. Back on track. Fucking look at that. We take a little divert. Back on track. Stuff that's been happening in the news this week. One thing did make me laugh. I know it shouldn't really make me laugh, but it was the music stars that are changing their unacceptable names in the light of the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, you know what fucking... They say music stars. DJs, are they, you know... Are they music stars? British dance music DJ. You know, they just... I never, ever fucking saw the mass appeal of DJs, really. You know, like when I was coming up, I don't know. Is that right? When I was growing up, you know, like back in the 90s and stuff like that, you had people like Cole Cox and fucking Judge Jules and fucking some other fucking weirdo. It's just matching beats, innit? Is that it? You know, people used to get paid fucking millions, thousands. They still do, don't they? For DJing out in Ibiza. I went to Ibiza once. It was all right. I think I went to the Club Cream, just stood about with a few beers, stayed about half an hour and fucked off. You know, people, you know, are fucking firing foam everywhere. I've just spent 90 quid on a pair of fucking jeans, baby. Tone it down with the old foam. You know, people gurning in front of you because they're off their tits on fucking ecstasy. It was very, you know, I was 18 at the time, you know, I went there, and even at that age, I was like, you know, I went with a mate and that, and had some mates out there already and stuff, and we met up with them and that. It was all right. I quite like chilling out by the beach, like Cafe Mambo, Cafe Del Mar, listening to all that fucking chill out fucking music, rather than that stuff that gets you fucking angry and hyped up. So I never saw why, you know, they're just playing records, aren't they? You know, they've not even created that music, are they? You know, this is the whole thing, isn't it? Maybe I'm showing my age, but even at that age, at the age of 18, I was like, all you're doing is playing records, me old booty. You know, and people would hang off them like they were fucking gods. Anyway, British dance music DJ, previously the artist formerly known as DJ Joey Negro, his name was, is to drop his unacceptable stage name. Yep. I don't know. This is a white guy, by the way. Just to clarify, I believe it is. Anyway, let's just get a fact straight. DJ. I am about to type into into Google DJ Joey Negro. Now, I imagine within the comedy community, I am the only person who has ever Googled DJ Joey Negro. Yeah, he's a white guy. I don't know where he got the last his surname from. Well, you just plucked that out of the fucking air. He's now changing his name due to the Black Lives Matter movement, cultural appropriation. I don't think so, because that name is offensive. Joey, no, well, actually, Joey was an offensive term when I was younger. Due to the fact, Jesus, he's lucked out on both fucking offensive names there. Joey was an offensive term because there was a geezer who was on Blue Peter years ago. Blue Peter used to be a kids program. I forget his name now. It's Joey something. But anyway, oh yeah, Joey Deacon, yeah. I think he was deaf or dumb or deaf and couldn't speak. Oh shit, I'm not showing my age there with you. Can you say deaf and dumb anymore? I don't think you can. Anyway, he was fucking hell. I'm digging myself into a fucking few holes here. Joey Deacon. He was disabled in some way, but I don't know what way it was. Let's fucking just keep digging this hole, Ben. Let's keep digging it. For fuck's sake. To all our readers, fucking Wikipedia begging for money as well now. Jesus. Fuck off. Let's have a look. Biography, early life. Joey Deacon was born with cerebral palsy. That's right. Yeah. He had very sort of like difficult to understand speech and difficulty speaking and walking and things like that. And then, the next minute he was on Blue Peter, and the next minute that's a fucking slur that people were throwing around the playground, like calling people a Joey, which, it was the 80s people. People are a lot different then. People used to bully back then. I was talking to one of the people who I work with in my day job. She's only a young girl. Nothing like that. She's only a young girl, and I was talking to her and stuff like that, and she was on about going back to school and that in a month or so, and was saying about how nobody fucking bullies each other at their school. I was like, what the... How do you know what the fucking hierarchy is? I just couldn't fucking wrap my head around all these people walking around going, hey, man, like fucking high-fiving everyone as they walk into school, and that they're all sort of like... There's all one big mass group of them, and everybody includes everybody. It seems like some sort of weird, futuristic utopia when I was at school. Anyway, this geezer, DJ Joey Negro, who was looked out on two fucking horrible names there, if he was due to the Black Lives Matter movement, has now changed his name, and he's going by his own name, Dave Lee. How did he I don't know how he got from Dave Lee to DJ Joey Negro. I have no idea. Maybe it's something to do with the disco or house sort of like genre. He's 56 years old as well. I mean, like, you'd have thought he'd have changed that a little bit. Your DJ for the night is DJ Dave Lee. It sounds like somebody... I can see why he changed his name. It sounds like somebody who's at a wedding, isn't it? This is DJ Dave Lee. There's a car parked outside. Registration YN 642. Can you move that immediately, please? People need to get home. Grandma's getting tired. Yeah. He sounds like he should be DJing at fucking kids' parties or something like that, and keeping a 2 meter distance away from the kids with a name like that. But anyway, yeah, fucking, I have no idea why people would, A, be a DJ in the first place, and B, The move comes after fellow DJ, the Black Madonna, stopped using her own moniker, noting that it has caused controversy, confusion, and pain. The Black Madonna. What's she look like? Madonna DJ. Yeah, she's fucking white as well. What the fuck is going on there, man? Yeah. You know, if you're going to call yourself the Black Madonna, surely you need to surely at least be black. Yeah, I have. Not unless you meant like the dark, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Like, she looks like she's a bit of a fucking goth. Maybe that had something to do with it. But the Black Madonna, she's got fucking blonde hair. I mean, I don't know. Are these people just doing it to get a fucking reaction? Who knows? Yeah. She changed her name to Sharon Grimshaw or something like that, her real name. DJ Sharon Grimshaw on the fucking wheels of steel. Anyway, so people have changed their unacceptable names, which I think is a good thing with those two fucking idiots. Anyway, by the sounds of it, let's have a little bit of tea. Years ago, I used to play football with a geezer called Gandhi. Now, Gandhi, this was years ago. It was born in India. This was back in the 80s when I used to play. I'm not justifying this at all, but everybody used to call him Gandhi because he was born in India. He was a white guy. His dad even used to call him Gandhi. That was the weird thing about it. I never knew his real name. Everybody at his school used to call him Gandhi. Everybody who knew him called him Gandhi. His mum and dad called him Gandhi, and because he was born in India. These things used to happen, people. I don't know if he was born in fucking, you know, North Korea or something. He would have been Kim Jong-un, I imagine, in those times, in the 80s. But, yeah, it's very strange. Anyway, that is a good thing. This is the point I'm trying to make. This is the sort of, Jesus Christ, on 17 minutes already. I've been floundering around with DJ Joey and his fucking the Black Madonna far too long. So anyway, that was that. People are changing their names. I mean, why the fuck would you give yourself that name anyway? You know, whatever. I don't know. The Black Madonna for a white girl in a fucking vest top and bleached blonde hair who looks like a female version of Eminem with glasses. I don't know why you would call yourself the Black Madonna. I have no idea. Anyway, other things I have been up to this week. That is one thing that is coming out of the Black Lives Matter movement, I imagine, because people see it as inappropriate. Really? All of a sudden, this is what gets me with these things. All of a sudden, people go, oh, yeah, I had a revelation. All of a sudden, it seems inappropriate to call myself DJ Joey Negro. And I'm a white guy. Ah, oh, Jesus. Yeah, well, you know, times do change, don't they? No, you fucking idiot. It's always been bad. Ah, Jesus. I don't know. It's the same old thing, isn't it? Same old thing. Harking back to the fucking dog on the last episode, didn't we? There we go. Anyway, calm down, Ben. Calm down. It's just people's fucking absolute stupidity. You know. How long a career can you have? He was hoping, oh, fucking hell, it's going to stay like it was in the 80s or late 70s or whatever when he started fucking first DJing and it was fine. People going, hey. I don't know. Let's have a little bit more tea. Talking of black and white things, here we are, seamlessly slipping into this next segment. I watched Free Willy for the first time this week. I know. I've never seen it before. It was, I don't know, maybe it was the cold making me feel a bit vulnerable. Maybe it might have been people. I'm not ashamed to say that. I'm not ashamed to say I've got emotions that sometimes need feeding. You can't keep everything buried down, can you? I don't know. Anyway, it's the first time I watched that film this week. It was all right, wasn't it? You know, and then you start researching about the whale, and you're like, oh, fucking hell, that had a horrible life. You know, that whale was like Morgan Freeman, not Morgan Freeman. Who's the one like Red? Is it Red? Was it Red? Who's the one who dies in fucking Shawshank kills himself. Wasn't Red, was it? Shawshank Redemption. Let's Google that shit. Fucking Brooks. Was it Brooks? Yeah. Brooks, wasn't it? Who's Red? He's Red, isn't he? Fucking Morgan Freeman's Red, isn't he? Not the colour, obviously. Brooks, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Like him, wasn't it? At the end of Shawshank, that fucking whale become institutionalized. You don't realize until you watch the film. And I was sort of like Googling at the same time and watching the film where they had like saws and shit all under its fin. And the people just painted it. Had like festering fucking saws like under its fin because it'd been swimming around the same fucking tank in Mexico for about 20 years. And that's why its fin was over as well, wasn't it? Just like, there's no point me being here. Just limped over. But it had saws under it where its fucking armpit was. We've all had them, haven't we? From swimming around in a pool for 20 years. And they just, the fucking people on the fucking, because it would be so horrific. Not the fact that its fucking fin was over like that and everybody's looking at it going, oh, Jesus, that's an actual animal. And everybody's going, hey, this is fucking a great uplifting film. It would have been if they'd fucking released it straight away, but they didn't. And then they tried to reintroduce it. But they painted over the saws, like with black paint and white paint, just so it would look less horrendous for the screen. And apparently the whale, like they tried to release it and shit like that, and then it kept fucking, coming back to humanity. It just like sort of like it was like one of them weird kids at school. You know those weird kids at school who are that you used to have at school. They probably don't have them anymore because everybody's so fucking integrated and fucking hey man, who hangs on the sort of like periphery of like groups and shit like that, and just doesn't, I'm a bit fucking socially awkward. It was like that. He used to hang around a socially awkward whale. That's what it was. It's probably had anxiety issues or something like that. Free Willy just spent fucking all day with his flippers on a fucking PlayStation controller. talking to people through a headset. That's what it'll be doing these days, that fucking whale. Dear. Anyway, it fucking died. It was quite, they used the same whale for all the fucking films because they couldn't fucking bend another one's top, fin over or something. But yeah, I watched that film this week. It was all right. I've never seen it. Like, I think you have to watch that as a kid when you've still got fucking, cares about fucking whales and shit like that. I like, I was hoping it'd rip the kid apart at one point, but, they're not going to show that on a fucking PG-13, are they? Yeah, just kind of sort of like made me laugh a little bit on how fucking bad that whale was treated, and they still made millions of it on a fucking on a fucking film. It's just horrendous. If you think about that in any other way, where they went down to Mexico, found this whale that had been swimming around in a fucking, in an enclosure that was designed for dolphins, and these things been swimming in a circle so much and not exercising that much that its entire fin had like fallen over and locked over to the side, giving it a sort of like Hitler sort of like quiff on top of it. Any other thing like that, and you'd be, they'd be at it for that, especially these days. That must have been 90s, that film, surely. Was that, wasn't in anything else, just those films. No, not that had a broad acting thing, but there's not much you can do with a whale with a fin fucking hanging over, can you? Keiko, that was it, wasn't it? Keiko the Whale. That's what they did. There was a big fucking... Here's the thing, though. Sometimes things go too far, though, don't they? You know what I mean? There's just like, things just go too far. The whale gets too fucking institutionalized, and then you can't do anything about it. Can you? You can't help it. It just gets too... It kept returning to humanity. Hang around like with pods of fucking killer whales, like Can I be your friend? No, you can't. And then eventually sort of like fucking just died of fucking pneumonia or something, I think. There's a nice end to the fucking Free Willy story. You don't realise that when it's fucking jumping over the fucking kid, do you? And he's looking up at it going, "Go, Willy." You don't realise that, in reality, it would be shunned by other whales and die a lonely existence as a sort of like half human, but couldn't sort of like hang around with humans all the time and couldn't get on with its own species and just is essentially dies alone. That kid killed that fucking whale in that film whilst leading it to freedom. It had no skills whatsoever to survive, and that kid would have been responsible for the death of that whale. When you look at it that way, it changes sort of like the whole outcome of that movie. I don't know. What are we on? 26 minutes, people. Let's have a little bit of tea, and then I'll read out this horrendous story that made me never want to fall asleep again. Right. Let's have a little look. Sorry about this. It's a little disorganised again today, people. You've got to bear with me, though, haven't you? You've got to bear with me. I'm an ill person. at the minute. There. Here's a headline to never, you're going to be sleeping with one eye open after this little fucker. Doctors pull a 4-foot snake from a woman's throat after it slithered in as she slept. Fucking hell, man. How much does this woman snore? And B, how good is her fucking gag reflex? This is a shocking moment. A 4-foot-long snake is removed from a woman's mouth. Now, there is a video of this online, which is fucking amazing. The creature had reportedly slithered into her throat as she slept in a garden. Don't ever sleep in Lavashi, a village in southern Russia. Feeling unwell, the young woman was rushed to hospital where she was put to sleep. In this disturbing footage, a doctor is heard saying, "Let's see what this is." I bet he's thinking massive, massive dildo. Before inserting a tube down her throat. As he slowly pulls the snake out, another medic grabs it, but then jumps back and screams. She realizes how long the snake is. The snake is then dropped into a medical bucket. It's unclear if the snake was alive or dead, or how long it was trapped inside the woman. Fuck me. I mean, we've all had that thing, haven't we, where we eat a bit of food and it goes down the wrong way and you're like, coughing shit up and that. But a 4-foot-long snake, how long's... That's about a foot, isn't it? 30 centimetres is a foot, isn't it? So you've got to... Oh, fuck me. Jesus. That's like 1.20 meters. That's about that fucking long snake. Where the fuck was that coming out then? Is that stuck in a throat? Sorry, I'm just doing miming being a sword swallower here. Fucking hell, Jesus. I don't even want to know where that was coming out. According to local reports, such incidents are unusual. No fucking shit. But older residents advise the young not to sleep outside in case a snake slithers inside their mouths. Is that a thing in Russia? Don't sleep outside in case a snake slithers in your mouth. Jesus, that old wives' tale. Some commentators have claimed that the creature could be a parasite or a giant worm, but it appears too long for this. The Ministry of Health in Dagestan says, this never happened. This never happened. Russia is the greatest country ever. The woman patient was not identified, nor was the type of snake. The snake didn't even get a billing on them. The village of Lavashi has a population of 11,501 snake. And it is an altitude of 4,165 feet. Well, I don't know why that's relevant. Do snakes only slither into people's mouths at a certain altitude? I don't know, people. Fucking hell. That's the whole thing, isn't it, though? Where people say, there's that whole thing. In your lifetime, you will eat 4 spiders when you're asleep. How do people fucking know that? How do people know that? Somebody's sat there watching somebody sleep every night. What sort of a weirdo does that? There's one spider going in there. And why wouldn't you drag it out? Apparently, that's the thing, isn't it? In Russia, it's very different. You'll eat 4 spiders, and if you sleep outside, a snake. Jesus. Do they just go into any open orifice? It could have been a lot worse for her, couldn't it? Really. I mean, going in your mouth is bad enough, but any other, women have only got 2 other orifices. Men have only got 1, haven't they? Imagine waking up and you got a snake up there. Jesus, I'm dying for a shit and a fucking snake pops out of you. I don't know. We've all had it, haven't we? Anyway, people, that is episode 128 of the Ben Briggs podcast. We've gone a bit off track, haven't we? The last 2 episodes have been a bit, a bit BLM heavy, haven't they? With all the changes and that sort of thing that are happening. And rightly so, obviously. I mean, who the fuck calls himself that? I mean, oh, God. Think about the future, man. History will judge us, etc. If you have any questions or you want to speak to me at all or slag me off or call me a knob, it is podcast@benbriggs.co.uk. I will be back on, I don't know why I'm talking like that. I will be back on Tuesday for the next exciting episode of. So I'll speak to you then. Have a great weekend, motherfuckers. Take care.